Michael Calero,
Yes.
Thomas Parson. You guys wrote a book called Quested.
We did.
This is a fun book, man.
We think so.
You gave us a little bit of a tease, and you said that you think you know
I think
why
I know
like
why
this.
you like it.
Be real. Why
And
do
the
you think?
reason,
We just met, Michael. How do you know me so well?
So how I've always explained this book and the original inception of it is I wanted to make Hellboy meets Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
And I see the tattoo.
Oh, the tattoo gave it away.
Yeah.
Hellboy meets
Perceptive.
Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so Quested, this is a book that both of you put together.
Yes.
Tell me what you can about it, because we're seeing an introduction of a character who happens to be on the preview of the Ashcan.
Our copy, anyway.
Our
the pink
copies,
one.
yeah. There's different copies, right? But the ones that we got, so that was the first one I was like, navigating to. What is this? And we have a new character here who is just entering the scene strong.
Yeah.
Just chopping heads to save a princess.
Yeah.
So the Zelda analogy.
Yeah. So that was the thing, is like the origin of it. There's a few things. I've always been a big RPG fan.
There we go.
And when you start an RPG, you put the name in of like who your character is. This was the character that I was in these games. This is that was where this started.
No kidding.
I was the boring guy. I always put my own name in.
Yeah, I know. This was the character, and it became a thing where playing games like Legend of Zelda, I always thought it was funny, this idea of this character just showing up to someone's dungeon and just destroying all of these minions and this stuff, like uninvited, just coming and destroying everything. And that's what I wanted to start the episode with, or the issue with, was here's this character busting up a dungeon. And because it is a comedy action book, and there is a lot of like kind of tongue-in-cheek spoofing of that genre, it just felt really great to like go straight from that. And we have this kind of joke set up, and you go straight into this crazy action scene, and then it goes right back into this, like, how ridiculous this character is.
Oh, I love it. I mean, we're seeing a very friendly vibe. I mean, we've read some books recently that like this style of very, very vibrant, but still dark. It's still mature. I mean, we're seeing like yellow blood, but it's still blood nonetheless.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned yellow, because the first thing I think of when I flip this page and get to this book is colors.
Yeah.
Like the art and the colors in here really grab me. And it does a good job of kind of letting your guard down and thinking that you might be getting in for like a not so violent book, especially because it starts with people playing cards, even though one of them is in a cage.
I know. It was
Still relatively fun.
A princess captured. So, Thomas, what has this creative process been like with Michael?
Mike and I actually been friends for like 18 years.
Yeah, probably it's a long time.
18 years. Okay.
Yeah, we go way back.
And we've always just enjoyed kind of picking apart our favorite comics and novels and movies and cartoons and stuff like that, and just talking about the writing aspect of it. Mike's been much more active in writing, and I've had other careers, so I haven't written as much, but have had a lot of ideas. So we've been partners for years of just sharing ideas with each other and then getting feedback. And so he called me with this idea at the beginning of the pandemic, I think, right?
Yeah, it was 2020 that I started producing it with the artist Kit Wallace.
Yeah.
We were just doing character designs at that point. So it was just a concept and some character designs was all that I came to the table with.
What was that call like? Because I have this idea. Was it kind of how you set it up? Like, Link is, someone's going to come in here, just bash through the door and you have to deal with them.
Our conversations always meander so like randomly, but I mean, he called with the purpose of, hey, I've got this story I'm working on. I want your feedback on it. I want some ideas. I'm struggling with a few parts of it, and I think you might be able to help me figure that out. And about 2.5 hours later, we had outlined, I think, the first 6 issues.
It was the first story arc.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's really great about it, is that, like you mentioned, I'll call him with just one simple thing of like, hey, I can't figure out this line, I can't figure out this scene, and then by the end of the conversation, we've plotted out 3 different storylines, and it was one of those things where at the point we got. Even in that first conversation, like, you have to make this with me. I can't not have you be a part of this process now, because so much of your sensibility is baked into it now that it's partly yours.
Position yourself in to be co-writer. I like that.
Well, I didn't really intend to. At the end of the we had probably at least 24 to 50, I don't know, conversations like that over the years that we've known each other. And it was the first time Mike was really serious. I mean, he had said it in the past, like, I want you to write something with me. Like, I think you should write on this story with me or whatever. And it was the first time where it was like a seriousness in his voice. Like, it wasn't even an option.
It wasn't a question.
No, it wasn't a question. He was like,
demand.
"You're writing this with me." And so we set up some meetings, and we actually started outlining the scripts for the issues, and then we wrote the first issue and then the second issue, and got him to our artist Kit, who just knocks it out of the park. His art is so unique and so gorgeous. You've mentioned the colors. His coloring sensibility is just insane. It's been a fun process to just learn how to write comics with Mike, and then to see what Kit produces, because we got this vision in our mind, and then we write it on a script and hand it to Kit, and then he gives us pages back, and we're like, how did he read?
Yeah, he's a just a pleasure to work. I'm a illustrator myself, so almost everything I've worked on, I usually will just draw myself, and it's one of the first times where I really felt absolute trust in the artist that I was working with, that I couldn't do it better than that. There's no reason I could ever find to draw this book, because he does it so perfectly to what we're envisioning.
That's a good point. I mean, every time I hear any kind of interview between comic creators, and they always say, like, I wrote it down and I sent it off, and I never imagined what it would look like when I got it back. And I feel like that's got to be like the most rewarding, interesting part of creating something, especially something collaborative like that. Like, it's different to write a novel. Like, that's all you.
Right.
The thing that's funny about that is I have the same idea, just a little different. I'm like, how is this going to be different than what I pictured? I don't think like, oh, I didn't envision how this would look. It's always like, what is going to be the thing that I'm going to be like, oh man, do I have to ask for a change on this? Or like, this didn't, like the artist did something different than I had in my mind. Almost every panel was exactly what I had hoped he would do with it. He obviously still surprises me every issue because the style is so unique. But it is always like exactly what the page should have.
Awesome. Quested debuting in December of this year, before year end. We're going to be seeing a lot from this title. I imagine there's going to be stores lining up to do variants with this character on it.
Speaking of variants, we have two really cool variants that I'm really excited about. One is in the back of the book. It's kind of like a little, and on the W in the front is from Kim Jacinto, who's a really amazing artist for Marvel. He just did a bunch of X-Men 2099 designs that have been kind of making their way around the internet. And Jim Mahfood is also doing a cover for it.
You got Jim Mahfood? Oh, snap. Kudos for getting Jim. He needs to be doing so much more.
Oh, there's more. We have
fantastic.
some really cool stuff we're going to talk about with Jim.
And his cover is amazing. It's gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness. What a way to end this conversation about Quested. Can't have gotten more excited about it, getting Jim Mahfood on the title. Any last things you want to say to the comic fam about what is coming, whether it's with Quested or Whatnot Publishing?
I think for us, it's where we're going with these titles. Like, we have some really cool plans with everything. Quested, especially for us, this is not like a one and done kind of thing for us. We have some really great story arcs, and there are a lot of things we want to expand and bring people into that process. And like, we talk about community for comic books. This is a book that from the very beginning, we were trying to figure out, how do we make this more than just us putting a book into the world and just like having it be released. The book itself has been done for a very long time. And we were waiting for something like this to really come together where it's like, this is the perfect place for it. And so we're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff with Whatnot for that title specifically.
Yeah, we really want to engage people into the world that we're creating Quested more than just the comics and a bunch of other avenues. And we've got some ideas for that, so it should be neat.
And one last thing, I would be a terrible guest to not present.
What do we got?
This is for you guys. This is one of each cover.
Oh, fantastic.
Of all new stuff.
Oh, look at that. And we have a special cover with each of the different titles that are coming out, and we have a full cover of Ninja Fun.
That's kind of a special release. Since David Mack was here, we decided to do a full cover.
Amazing. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
they're all foiled. They look great. And then there's this little extra special. We alpha betas you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, is that me?
Yes, that's you.
Oh my gosh. Comic fam, what is my life? Whatnot Publishing is here. Thank you guys.
All right, awesome. Thank you for having us.
This book has hit $20. Let off the gas, comic fan, unless you're really gunning for some jackfruit goodness.
$75 cover price on this, don't overbid, but if somebody wants it, we got it.